I can't believe to the microphone.
Can't read. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I,
state your name.
Lorenzo Negrete,
Having been appointed to the office of police officer
have been appointed to the office of police officer
in the village of Dolton,
in the village of Dolton,
in the county of Cook,
in the county of Cook,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of police officer,
of the office of police officer,
village of Dolton,
village of Dolton,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have your signature here? And then you guys do the photo off first, okay. Yeah. Before I let you get away. Right here. Right there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Chief, that's our fifth officer that we've sworn in from board authority last year.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Next thing on the agenda is a presentation to the Dolton Fire Department by Mr. Ray from Adjournment Manufacturing. Come on up. Why don't you tell us, the residents, a little bit about Adjournment Manufacturing, where it's located, how many employees you have, how long you've been in the village of Dolton. You can.
All right. Well, greetings, first of all, to the mayor,
Yeah.
Honorable Mayor
Yeah.
Riley, to the Board of Trustees, many I know, some I don't, to Chief Dyer, Chief Mobley, definitely greetings to all of you, first of all, okay? What I would tell you is IDAR Group, we are a glass packaging manufacturing company, the largest in the United States of America, but the second largest in the world. Okay, so you didn't know that you had a facility right here in Dolton that produced glass for really the United States, but outside of the United States as well. We have about 500 individuals who work at our facility here off Cottage Grove. My name is Greg Ray, and I'm the financial controller for the facility. You might be saying to yourself, what's the financial controller? I'm the guy who writes the checks. So it's easy for me. That's how I know most of the individuals here, right? Because I get an opportunity as part of my job is to have partnerships with the community. So
Great.
you asked me to give an introduction, so do I finish my, okay.
You can finish, sure.
All right. So, with the village, there are many different partnerships that at least Ardar Group actually work with the village on. One is with the fire department. I would tell you that for us is, one thing that's recently we've done is work on apparel. Worked on like saws, tools, etc. with the fire department to make sure that they have, some of the things that maybe, the budget may not allow for. We do that when that makes sense, okay? There are other projects we certainly have partnered with the village on from an environmental standpoint, like lighting. I know, as something we recently working on. I'm working on with Mrs. Scott on that. And then also we are, as an example, just beyond the the environmental side. We're doing community service as well. As an organization, we are working with the village on cleanup of like the lot. Well, we at least discussed that, but we have plans to partner with the city in different areas with that respect. So, you know, really in closing, what I would say about our group as a company, with having 500 employees working in this community, we certainly want to be a partner with the city. And I appreciate Mayor Riley because he had a vision years ago to, you know, really hold the company accountable to say that, you know, you guys are in the community and we really want you guys to be a part of the community. So we heard that message, and from that we've been able to one, not just contribute time, funds, money, but also, you know, when we see an opportunity, we certainly go through the organization and
I think our average starting salary at Ardar is $58,000. Now the conditions there are a little bit tough to work under because they make glass. They have three furnaces. Ardar came to us and actually said that, you know, we're thinking about moving, Mayor. We have to make a $30 million investment here to put a new furnace here. They have 3 blast furnaces there that operate 365 days a year. So after some negotiation, we brought in the state senator, state reps. Our Senator Durbin came in. He visited the plant. We entered into an agreement, and I'm happy to say that they've hired a huge number of our residents. Also, they were voted as the #1 manufacturing company in Cook County.
Yep.
So I'm glad that the partnership is working. They're working on right now giving us $50,000 to improve our lighting downtown in the village of Dolton. That will be complete hopefully by the end of the year.
Yep.
So the partnership is working, and it helps.
It certainly is, and the mayor know that, like, one of the things I'm committed to as the regional controller in Illinois, and the mayor knows this, is that part of those funds for the lighting was supposed to go to another one of my facilities in Illinois. But you know, being in this community, I really want to see this community improve, and I went to bat to say that, hey, let's split the dollars between Dolton and Lower Illinois. And we were able to do that.
So we appreciate your generosity, and you know, hopefully, I know for sure we'll be continuing our relationship with Ardar Manufacturing. Do you give tours of the plant?
So we have.
Okay.
It's always arranged, and I'll certainly mention that. Yep, and I'll certainly mention that to the manufacturing manager when I come back. So.
And are you hiring now?
Now, one of the things I will share about our organization, because it's a tough environment, we are always hiring.
Yes.
However, what I would share is that everyone goes through that normal process, right?
Yes. Sure.
And it could be a tough process because a lot of time, if you are don't have manufacturing experience, it's kind of tough to get in the door because you know, the job does pay you know, a nice salary. And I always remind folks, just so you know, Mayor, is that I was like, you guys are doing much better than I did my first 20 years of working. I mean, because you're coming in, you're working in a great salary, you're getting overtime and benefits. But to answer your question, we are always hiring. However, you do go through a, you know, I guess a regiment to get hired there. So.
And you're located at 138th and Cottage Grove.
That's
if some of you want to know where to locate.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You going to make a presentation to the fire department today?
I am not tonight because our company move a little bit slower than I would like.
Okay.
But I will tell you, it is in the works in terms of the funds that I have. I got my team to work on that as we speak today. And so by the end of the week, we'll have a physical check. So I will tell you though, those funds are committed to Chief Dyer.
Great. We appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Ray.
All right. Yep.
Go ahead. Sure.
So those funds that Mr. Ray talked about, we were short on some cash. Sometimes we got to go to outside sources. So we wanted to get uniform shirts for all the members. That may sound minor, but I believe that uniform makes the person. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the guy is wearing. If he's coming out to save your life, you really don't care. But the perception is a professional. We want to have professional looking people, not just somebody jumping off the trucks with gym shoes and t-shirts on. So that was one of the things. We had promotions to captains. We had 4 radios. We needed 2 more. We also needed some saws, for extrication purposes. So I went to Greg and I told him all my needs, and he said, you know what? We got some money left over. I'm gonna see what I can do for you. So this isn't really for the fire department, because shirts, the radios, the saws, is for the community. So once again, I'd like to give him a hand.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ray. And the fire department responds over there on occasion. So you rely on our fire department. Thank you. Okay, next thing on the agenda is general announcements. Are there any?
I have some.
Let's see the clerk. You have any? Okay, go ahead, trustee.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out this evening. You guys missed an awesome counselor luncheon we had this Saturday. It was really nice, very well attended. Some of our residents got awards and basically just uplift by Clerk Brown. From the circuit court. She gave uplifting spirits to those that's dealing with cancer currently, and I try my best to make you guys understand we do have a cancer fund here in the village of Dolton. So if you guys are struggling, need funds or money or anything, and it's for our residents, the money's there, you guys. So if you exhausted some of the resources somewhere else, come and get the money from us. So you need a wig, you need anything such as help just mentally, we are here. Also, my next question, Mayor, why don't the council luncheon ever get advertised on our village website or Channel 4? I did send an email in regards to that, and it was not advertised on either one.
Who did you send the email to?
Yourself and, what's his name? Trustee Steves.
I don't do the media stuff, and I don't do the website stuff, so you got an answer for that, Trustee Steve?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Okay, well, I did send it, like I did with the Stop the Violence March. I would like my items to get displayed as well, because it is for the community. It's nothing political. As you all know, cancer is near and dear to me. My mom suffered from breast cancer, so I will always continue with that fight. Every single year, I do hold a cancer walk. This time, I did a cancer luncheon. So I wish we would all just get on one accord and stop fighting as it relates to community involvement, community things, and it should always get advertised here in the village of Dolton.
I can answer the one about the walk. I received a call, matter of fact, a couple of calls from the owner of the strip mall there.
What walk you talking about? Which walk?
I didn't say the walk. I said, the violence
I'm not
march.
talking about violence march. I'm talking about the cancer luncheon.
You just asked me. You just said that we didn't put that on either.
Go ahead, man.
The violence march.
Go ahead.
I received a couple of calls from the owner of the strip mall. He advised me that you had asked him, could you hold that event there? And he never heard back from me. He told me that he asked you to return a insurance certificate and a police presence. He said you never called him back, so we were not going to, the village was not going to sanction something that was unauthorized from the property owner that you went forward with, because if we would have did that and if something occurred, we would have been held liable. So that's the reason that didn't go out.
I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't even going to talk about the Stop the Violence March.
You did, though.
It saddens me that this village chose not to participate in a march when we had shooting after shooting after shooting. This should have been a unified event. It was not. I was very upset that you held the police hostage. You would not let them attend and do their job. Another officer, Officer Joe, he is the police connect. You told them to bring his car back, and he was there at the march. We had police present.
I
All
told
because
them-
the mayor did not want it to look like we was together. So people, if we're divided up here, our community will always be divided because people name is not on stuff, so they have a problem with that.
Trustee.
I will always advocate for what's right. I will always push my own things, even though I don't have a committee. I always find something to do as it relates to my community. I did not like that. I was upset about that. I didn't like that the fire department didn't support, nor did the police department. I don't appreciate that. We should always band together as it relates to community involvement. I say that all the time. When they all have stuff up here, I attend it, no matter who it is. I don't care what our disagreement is. So, Mayor, moving forward,
Would you want somebody to march on your property without
Mayor,
your
Mayor,
permission?
come on. I'm not
Would you
even
want somebody to
engaged
march
in all
on your
that with
property
you.
without your permission?
All I'm asking is, moving forward, I would like us to be on one accord and make sure that everybody attend regardless of what it is.
Why didn't you
Please.
do what the landlord asked you to do?
Mayor, I did everything. I'm not
And
going to
the
argue with you back
reason-
and forth.
and
Why
the
didn't you
reason-
show up as the leader?
and the
How about
reason-
that?
and the reason
you
he
deflect a
wanted-
lot. You deflect. Why
And
didn't
the
you show up
family-
as the leader?
the
You was the
family didn't
leader.
want
You
it.
was
The
the leader.
family-
You should have been there.
The family didn't want it.
The family didn't want what? To stop the
Didn't want
violence
the
march?
march.
Who didn't want the
So
march?
at any rate, all I'm saying
That's
is
what I'm saying. You
that
just throw stuff out there.
all I'm
At
saying
the end
is
of the
that
day, we was unified. It
the
was very well
landlord-
attended. I really appreciate the community showing up and showing out
the
for me.
landlord
And
wanted
thank
a
you again for
certificate of
everything.
insurance, which you did
Man,
not
you got nothing else
produce.
to talk about but why you wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
'Cause I
we
was at
needed,
the
we needed
funeral.
to see
I
our
was
leader.
at the
We needed
funeral of the
unity at
person
that
that got
time, and we did not.
murdered.
But I don't know how this turned into that. I thought I was giving my announcements.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah.
So, Council Walk was really great, you guys. We gave awards out. Residents won all types of stuff. We gave ring doorbells out. We gave gift cards out. And it was very, very nice. So thank you again for all the support. Stop the Violence March. We're going to do that annually. So next year, we're planning for that as we speak. So if you want to help out, you can volunteer. You can reach me on my cell phone, 708-297-6859. And that concludes my announcements. Thank you.
And just for your information, when you close down a state route, Illinois 83, which is Sibley Boulevard, you need to get permission from the Department of Transportation and the state police.
Mayor, for your information,
done
I've been doing
everything.
a
You
council
did
walk for
everything.
6 years.
And
Now all
you
of a sudden it was
violated- and
a
you-
problem.
and you violated
No,
the
Mayor.
law.
Now all of a sudden it was a problem. Matter of fact,
not all of
you
a
even
sudden.
showed up to
It's
one.
not- it's
So
not even
stop
a-
it.
it's not-
So
it's not-
stop it.
it's
Get
not-
the facts right. Don't lie to the residents like that.
That is
I
the
do it
facts.
every single
That
year.
is the
Never had a
facts.
problem till now.
Right.
You told people not to show up.
Yes.
You're a police department.
Right.
And that's sad because, again,
Sure.
I am an elected official just like you.
I'm not going to put this village in a liability state
It
because
wasn't a
you
liability
want to
state,
do
Mayor.
something
It
without
wasn't. You
permission
was
of the
wrong for that.
landlord.
You was wrong for that. The community needed to see the police.
Mayor, may I be
That's what we
recognized?
needed.
Go ahead,
And we
Trustee.
did not.
Go ahead, Trustee Hunt.
Can we move along with this agenda?
Okay, next thing on the agenda is a citizen's address. And this, this citizen's address now is before our regular citizen's address, and this is in regards to the things that are on the agenda. If anyone would like to speak in regards to what's on the agenda, you can approach the podium now. Okay, next thing is village clerk report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I would ask for approval of the minutes of the October 7th, 2019 regular board meeting and the October 21st, 2019 committee of the whole meeting. Trustees, you should have received copies of the drafts this morning per Trustee Henyard's request. I did do a revision of the October 7th, 2019 regular board meeting minutes, which I did forward to you about 1 o'clock this afternoon, I believe. So I would ask, if you would, for a motion to approve either or both sets of minutes as presented.
I want to make a motion to approve, but I want to add this one sentence. You want me to read it into the record?
I think there needs to be a second.
Second.
Okay, motion by Trustee Henyard to amend, second by Trustee Steve. And your amendment, Trustee Henyard?
It was regarding the Stop the Violence March, and it was at the bottom of the part you revised. And basically it states, there was no reason for any of you not to attend and support this movement with all the crime going on. That was it.
So you would add that sentence.
Correct.
There is no reason for any of you not to attend.
Correct. And support this movement with all the crime going on.
Okay. So this is a motion to amend the October 7th minutes to add that sentence at the end of your remarks
Yes.
that are underlined in the revised version.
Correct.
Roll call? Discussion or roll call?
Any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Denton?
Aye.
Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Trustee Brown? He's not here, I'm sorry. Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Hayden?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed.
And I'm sorry, trustee, that was to approve both minutes with that one amendment.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, I have no communications, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. Let me see that again. Okay, no communications. Engineers report, Mr. Smith.
Thank you this evening, Mayor, Madam Clerk, trustees, residents from the Village of Dolton, and department heads. You have a copy of my report in front of you. Just have 3 items. The first item, it's in regards to the Community Block Grant Program. The village was fortunate enough to receive a grant for $100,000 for capital improvements for next year. There was a workshop that was held last Wednesday. The village administrator, Elizabeth Scott, attended that workshop. And as part of their workshop, the subrecipient agreement had to be reviewed with all the additional documentation, and that agreement was approved. A copy of that will be submitted to the village before December, and the village would be receiving a notice to incur grant costs for $100,000 for capital improvements for next year. The second item I have is regards to the Small Business Administration. There are low-interest loans available to South Suburban residents who had flood damage for their property after the heavy rains in June. They offer assistance in the form of low-interest loans to businesses, renters, and also homeowners located in the affected areas. Homeowners can receive up to $40,000 for personal property such as vehicles, or disaster loans up to $200,000. There is a number that you can call for additional information, 800-659-2955. That's 800-659-2955. And that's for residents who had flood damage in June. The last item I have is a CMAP grant that the village had applied for and received. This grant is for pavement management. Basically, CMAP is going to go out and do an analysis of all the pavement, road conditions, develop a pavement management plan, and also cost associated with that plan. That grant cost estimate is probably about $50,000. Most of that is completed. Also, the village will receive training and also software for their computers to actually manage the information that they receive. Basically, you'll get a map of all the village streets and then also a rating of that. We hope to have the draft report by the end of this year. And that's all I have to report on. Yes.
I think, talk to the mayor, maybe we, as long as you're up, Ron, you've got 2 routine items on new business. If you want to, if the board wants to go ahead and vote those with Ron here.
Yeah, we'll move on to new business, just those two items since, and this is what you were talking about, Ron.
Thank you.
I'd like to bundle item A and B, resolution number 19R-024, adoption of updated Cook County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. And secondly, resolution number 19R-025, accepting urban area security initiative, USAI funds from Cook County Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Can I get a motion on this, Madam Clerk?
Motion to pass resolution number 19R-024
Yeah, and 25.
and 25.
I second.
Okay, it's been motion and second to approve those two resolutions, R-024 and R-025. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call.
Trustee Denton?
Aye.
Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Hendrick?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
We'll go back to old business. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We'll go to committee reports. Trustee House is not here. Trustee Brown is not here. Trustee Holmes.
First, good evening. First, before I start, I'd like to ask Deputy Dyer come up and briefly give the information that we talked about.
Chief Dyer.
Chief Dyer.
Good evening again, everybody. So, a couple of things. So, at the beginning of the school year, the fire department went out and we did what we call safe passage. It's not like the city of Chicago's safe passage, where they line up throughout the route of the school, children who walk. It was more so of a meet and greet. So every day we chose 2 schools to go to, and they greeted the kids and the parents and the teachers every day. And that ended October 31st. Halloween was the last day. So what we're trying to do now is go into a new program. A lot of the teachers or the principals are asking us to come out and read, which we're going to do, but we wanted to do more than that because what I found out in Safe Passage, we went to a couple of schools, and depending on what grade the kids were in, they wouldn't even talk to you. You could say hello, try to get their attention. They just kept on walking. So that wasn't the program for them. But what I learned was, and that we already know, is that you got to catch the kids when they're little, right? So the first, second, third graders, they loved it, took pictures, we hung out, did whatever. So what myself and Deputy Chief Rush are trying to do now is we went to Vandenberg on Avalon, and we spoke with the principal, and she told us that once a month on a Friday, they have Fun Fridays. So every Fun Friday on duty, the fire department will be there, and what it entails is playing basketball, kickball, whatever they want to do for that hour. We're going to make sure that we try to attend it if we can on duty. They want to read, if they want us just to read or whatever they want us to do, but each of the schools, that we went to 7 schools, and we were at 2 of them a day. So what we're trying to do is carry it on, because just because we came out and read, what happens is, okay, come out and read, and then they don't see us again until next year or whenever they see us, or things like that. So we want to be in the schools because, 9 times out of 10 when you see the fire department, it's because somebody's in trouble. You don't see us out in the street just doing whatever. So we want to be more active, more present in the community. So I love the kids. So this was a way that I thought that we could give back by hanging out in the schools and doing whatever they want to do. If they want to paint, they want to throw paintball, whatever they want to do. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're trying to do. If anybody wants to volunteer, once we get the information from all the schools, what days we can come, we're asking the men to come out, because sometimes we might not be able to get there, be there if we get a run or whatever. We just might not have. That seems to happen when I'm talking. So, we might not have the time to do it or whatever. So we're asking for volunteers to come out. They're always asking for somebody to read. And one of the teachers told me they see the women read to them all the time. That's why they need men to come out and read to them, because they see women all day, every day. So if you guys want to volunteer, get with myself or Chief Rush, and we'll let you know the days that we're going. They're always looking for us, so yeah, that was that part. The second part is about a month ago maybe, and we hear about this all the time, and it's terrible, finding kids and people having kids and getting rid of them. I don't know how to say that better, but you know, we're finding kids here, finding kids there, infants, newborns, and they're just letting them go, right? So the fire department has a program called Safe Haven. That's where if you have a newborn under 30 days old, you might say, well, how do you know if they're under 30? You really don't know, but you can't come in with a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 13-year-old and drop them off at the firehouse. He can come hang out at the firehouse, but you can't leave him there. So 1-year-old, 1 month old. So we'll look at the umbilical cord, maybe see if it's, you know, we'll try to find out ways that we can figure out how old this child is, right? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to call for an ambulance and a bud supervisor. We've already talked to buds. They know what to do. They're going to come in. There's going to be an anonymous thing that happens. No police are notified. We don't need to know your name or anything unless we find some sort of abuse or neglect. Then we'll call the police, because if the baby's been neglected, that's a crime. So just dropping the baby off, instead of just leaving it somewhere else, bring it to the firehouse. We're not saying for the night. We're not saying so you can go out and hang out and party. But if you have to drop your baby off, we'd rather you give him to us than leave him in the streets. The next thing is, once you leave that baby, you have 72 hours to come back, and we'll give you the information to where that baby is, what hospital the ambulance took the baby to. And then you have to petition the courts in order to get the baby back. But we also have a pamphlet. So if you do come in with a 3-year-old or something, we have additional resources like the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services, Save Abandoned Babies Foundation, Illinois Department of Human Services, Midwest Adoption Center. So there are options other than just letting your baby go. And a lot of times when some people have kids and no one even knows they have or were ever pregnant. They had these kids and they still need to seek medical help. They can't just have it and then, you know, get rid of it. They still need to seek medical help. So if you know of anybody or somebody who's pregnant and may want to, you know, think about doing something, you know, we had these pamphlets for help for the kids. So that was it, Trustee.
Okay, thank you. Those are a few things that we have been being proactive about. I'm talking with the fire department in Indiana, state of Indiana, reason because they have a safe haven box. That alarm goes off and it goes from the chief on down to the chief of the police department, chief of the fire department. That alarm goes off once that baby is placed in that box. I'm trying to see how we can generate funds to have them to build 2 of those boxes here in both firehouses. You can still bring the child to the firehouse now, but I'm working on that part, and those are some of the things that we are doing. But also you mentioned about the firemen over at the schools. I'm going to be talking to the chief. You know, little children coming up love to see people in uniforms and see people working. That's just a mentorship. So I'm going to talk to the Chief Mobley about maybe we can get 2 of those officers, you know, to go over to the schools too. You know, you have the police department and you have the fire department. You have your next fire chief, your fire captains right in that school in an early grade. Let me see. The incidents activity reports from January the 1st, 2019 up until October 31st, 2019. There was a total of 85 calls for fires, motor vehicle accidents, 250, emergency medical service, 2,484, hazardous conditions, 172, fire service calls with good intents, 301, fire alarms, detectives activators, 272, special incidents, 5, technical rescues, 4, a total of 3,673. And I must remind you that, you know, we're getting into the season where, you know, check your carbon and monoxide, get your fire, whatever you have to do to save lives inside your house. You know, practice, teach your kids, teenagers, and sometimes even older adults, and check on the seniors. Please check on the seniors because they forget to put batteries in their alarm system. As of November the 4th, during the month of October 2019, the Chicago Police Department responded to 3,016 calls for service. In addition to responding to the calls, the following activities was recorded. First watch for traffic, there was 108. Second watch, 21. Third watch, 64. A total of 193. Previous month, we had 276. Parking violations, first watch 45, second watch 81, third watch 48, a total of 174. Previous month, we had 274. Criminal arrests, first watch 35, second watch 3, third watch 37, a total of 75. Previous month, 63. Warrants, first watch 7, second watch 3, a total of 10. Previous month, 10.
Good evening, citizens. How are you doing today? All right. Upon conclusion of me reading this memo, afterwards, I want you to focus your attention to the TV monitor. On October 27, 2019, while Dolton police officers assigned to the 3rd Watch Patrol Division were conducting patrol of the area of Sibley and King Drive, formerly known as Chicago Road, Officer Herrera observed a suspicious parked vehicle during a business check that he had moved a few parking spaces after seeing him. Officer Herrera requested another unit after running the plate, which revealed the vehicle to be a felony vehicle wanted by the Harvey Police Department. K-9 Officer Masucci arrived on scene with his partner, K-9 Coda, and confirmed the above-mentioned information. While investigating the vehicle, a male subject exited a business and began to run from officers. Officer Herrera gave foot pursuit, at which time a second subject exited the business and began to run. Officer Masucci gave a foot pursuit, but returned to the vehicle to secure the vehicle. Due to the shift being short on manpower, the South Holland and Riverdale Police Departments sent assisting officers to set a perimeter. While responding, officers searched inside the perimeter. K-9 Officer Masucci, along with K-9 Coda, began to search just east of the perimeter, at which time Officer Masucci observed that same second subject run from behind a residence directly into an awaiting Uber. Officer Masucci initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle and took the offender into custody without incident, due to K-9 Coda being there to apprehend him should he run again. K-9 Coda performed a free air sniff of the vehicle, which indicated odor of narcotics. A search of the vehicle leads to a recovery of a stolen Glock pistol with an attached auto sear, which modified the pistol from being semi-automatic to fully automatic, firing 15 rounds in less than 2 seconds. 2 extended clips with 30-round magazines that were fully loaded, as well as approximately 20 pounds of cannabis. The offender was charged with 2 Class X felonies, a Class 1 felony, and a misdemeanor. Now, if you divert your attention to the TV monitors, you'll see what the Dolton Police Department officers recovered on October 27th.
Chief, what was the total weight of the marijuana recovered?
It weighed in, the scale we have is a little older. It weighed in approximately at 25 pounds.
It was all prepackaged. There was individuals packaging of the marijuana that was placed in the backpacks, and it looked like the distribution was that they would drop these backpacks off completely loaded, and their salespeople would sell it, and I imagine that they would return the cash. So you want to bring Coda out here?
Officer Masucci.
So, you know, the Village of Dolton has made a huge investment in 2 K-9 units. and they have really produced and paid off for the investment that we have. Not only do they work here in the village of Dolton, but we also assist other communities that ask for canine help.
This is her play. All she wants to do is play. It's all play to her. She doesn't know what she did.
Can you bring him out here?
She is 4 years old and a hyper dog.
Now, what kind of dog is this?
She's a Belgian Malinois. She was imported from Czech. All her commands are in Dutch, with the few that I trained her in English. Like I said, though, she doesn't know what she did in this. All she does is she just wants to play, and this is her play, her reward. Yes.
So we got the drugs off the street and got a stolen gun off the street.
The stolen gun was fully automatic.
Fully automatics, yeah.
Okay, as we proceed forward with hiring, as you can see, I think the last 3 or 4 board meetings, we're bringing on officers at a steady pace. I challenge the officers, I challenge the supervisors rather to challenge their officers to do different techniques when it comes to patrolling, not just stay on the main thoroughways, but to go inside the community, up and down the blocks. And it has paid off. Some of you have called, some of you have came to the police department personally and thanked us because you see an increase of visibility. Along with our assistance and relationships with the county, we're trying to make this community safe as possible for you all. It's not an easy task, but it's the task that we signed up for. And like I said, one day at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time. By this time next year, or the summer rather, I hope to have the department fully staffed where we can have different divisions to help curb this crime even more. I'd like to give Officer Masucci and Officer Herrera a round of applause for their courageous efforts.
And Coda. And Coda.
And K9 Coda. Thank you.
One of the things that, since interim chief has been appointed and brought into place, we started the business checks. And this is one of the things, this happened right outside one of the businesses while they were doing a business check. So that's paying off. The other thing, Trustee Holmes, I want to let you know is that we had a school car. The school car actually went into the school, the police officer actually went into the schools and checked on the crossing guards every day. When we ran short of manpower, that officer was put back on the street. But as we bring on these new officers, we will have another school car, hopefully before the beginning of next year.
Okay, Mayor, I have one more before I end.
Okay.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank those who came out for the Halloween, safe Halloween. But second of all, I'd like to thank the community for constantly calling, giving up information, and not giving up no matter what year it was that an incident happened. On October the 9th, 2012, there was 5 individuals that decided to organize some crime in Dolton. They were off 148th and Wentworth. The crime consists of attempted murder, 5 armed robberies, 5 carjackings. Murders was committed in Dolton. Murders was committed in Chicago and other surrounding suburbs areas. I want to say, as of last week, 5 of those individuals were found guilty. Thanks to the community, thanks to the hard-working detectives and the police officers in Dolton. Officer Brian Cardine, Officer Coleman, the Detective Division in the other suburbs, South Suburban Task Force that assisted, and Officer Darrell Holt. And what I'm going to say is, as we have new officers coming in and getting sworn in, we got to think about our home base here with our own detectives that go to court every day, being there 8 hours a day, sometime at night, and look at our officers, Coleman, and look at Holt, and our other officers. It's one thing they do. And I say, if you're going to commit a crime in Dolton, you better think twice, because we got the toughest detectives here that's going to solve these cases. And if they're solving these cases, which they are, our past cases, our present cases, we need to look at promoting these officers, sergeants, and commanders. I'm done, Mayor. Thank you.
In some cases, these cases cannot be solved without community participation.
That's right.
And many times some of the residents say, well, I don't want to get involved until they're actually involved, until it actually affects them. So you got to look out for your neighbor, and you have to assist the police when they come. Okay. Next thing on the agenda is corporate bills. Can I get a motion to pay the corporate bills? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm Trustee Steve.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out to this nice board meeting. I'm giving a report from Public Works and the Melanie Fitness. An announcement for Public Works is home with disposal. They have extended the last day for picking up yard waste bags to November 30th. They may extend the date even further if there's still a lot of leaves left out there. A lot of leaves left out there. So if you got some leaves that's set out there for home with disposal to pick up, it's extended to November 30th to get. Also, we will have a Public Works Committee meeting November 20th. Please mark the calendars of November 20th. And we're going to have Sonia London, which is the director of the Water Department. She's going to be there, and we'll give the updates from the Public Works Department of what we're doing to prepare for the winter, because the winter is pretty much here. So we're in the process of getting some more trucks, and where we're at to make sure Public Works is in the best possible position to help and service the residents this winter. So again, that's November 20th. I invite everybody else to come out to this committee meeting. Again, we will discuss the things at Public Works, and then if you have a problem or have a concern or question about your water bill, you can come out, because the director of the Water Department will be there to answer any questions that you may have. Also, so next, Melanie Fitness Center. Melanie Fitness, we opened the pool back up, if you did not know. So the Melanie Fitness is on the up, it's increasing. This month alone, last month, October, we had roughly 160 people come back, and we had 69 new members. So it is in progress of moving forward, which is a great thing. The people are happy over there. The spirit is real high. And I guess I didn't know the importance of water for seniors, and the importance that they can, to get in there, they can do a lot of movement with that water. So when that pool came back, it's almost like a family reunion over when we opened the pool back up. People were happy to see each other. They haven't seen each other in a year, 2 years. So we're moving forward. So next, I want to bring Sadiq, the personal trainer, up. And we had the $1,000 weight loss challenge, was finished yesterday. And the guy, you'd be surprised how many people lost weight. I mean, 20, 30 pounds in a month. But they were motivated because of that weight loss challenge that Sadiq put on. So if you can give us an update of what's going on at Melanie Fitness and what you're doing, Sadiq.
How's everybody feeling? We had the $1,000 weight loss challenge. And the highest weight loss that we had in the challenge was 40 plus pounds. A woman lost 40 plus pounds in a month. Y'all looking around, she needed to lose it. We could just be honest, we family. And it's so many 20 plus pound people that lost weight in the contest. So we just saw all the numbers down. In fact, no one in the contest, their weight went up. Everybody's weight went down. So that was amazing that we were able to accomplish that in a month. I was sending out meal plans and really working with people. And when you start to lose weight, first place you start to lose it is where? Your stomach. So some of you all didn't participate, and I'm gonna train you. If you wouldn't mind, I got an exercise I'm gonna give y'all today before we cut out. Can I do this real quick? All right, you can sit down in your chair. Everybody sit back in your chair, completely relax. This is free, so y'all keep this in mind. Join the next one. All right, now completely relax your shoulders. You're gonna be using this one. This is for the stomach reduction. Turn your head as far as you can over your right shoulder. Now turn your head as far as you can over your left shoulder. Now come back to the middle. Whenever anybody asks you if you want something to eat, repeat this motion. Turn your head as far as you can over your right shoulder, as far as you can over your left. Just gonna have to eat less foods. No secrets out here. Some of y'all, it's your first time, huh? First time turning that head, huh? All right, we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna do another one in January. The $1,000 is legit. You really do get the $1,000. It's a real contest because I know a lot of people missed it. They're like, oh, I didn't know I could do it. You can do it. And I'm gonna tell you something else. It don't matter how many people enter the contest, everybody don't finish, so your chances go up with the contest. So the guy that won this last one, I'm not gonna let him into the next one, so it's gonna be open to anybody. Also, November 30th, I'm gonna be doing a class personally in the pool at Melanie's Fitness, and I'm gonna bring out a lot of top-notch trainers, and we're gonna have some house music that's gonna be playing. So if you guys, anybody know house music? Y'all know house? Oh, y'all know the music? Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys a sample of some of the music that's gonna be playing. So you guys know this song right here? Dun, 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 dun. So I'm gonna bring a DJ. That's right. We're gonna all be in the pool and we're gonna be exercising to the water. It's gonna be a real fun time. It's gonna be November 30th at 6 p.m.
Yeah, 6 p.m.
6 p.m. I'm doing this one in the nighttime, so we're gonna make it more of an event. So nobody's gonna be, you don't want people all in your face. It's just gonna be us, and we're gonna have a good time. So it's nighttime. Y'all don't like the nighttime thing? It's cool. It's gonna be like fun. So we're gonna have music playing. It's gonna have a real good time, right?
Yeah.
So I want everybody there. Cut the music. Okay. Another thing that we're doing. That's my DJ in the back, y'all. Give it up for my DJ. Another thing that we're doing. We are doing youth classes.
Right.
So we actually bring young people out. And they get to do exercise classes, but they get to do exercise classes with an exercise trainer that's a young person. So this is my young exercise trainer, everybody. Right. And she's the one that teaches the classes. Right. So she teaches the classes. It's really fun, free for the community. So tell them a little bit more about yourself.
Well, not only am I a trainer like my dad, I'm also an author. I just made a cookbook recently. It's a kid's cookbook. It has 12 recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and also for healthy snacks.
So she teaches the class. She also brings her cookbook so we can encourage the young people to eat healthy but also cook with their parents. So we're trying to make it an entire community event, so where everyone gets involved, okay? So we have been doing some really, really amazing things. How many people have been to Melanie's? How many people came through to Melanie's? Okay.
So everybody come back and get that membership.
Oh, you said you sell a membership?
Yeah, we need to come back and get that membership.
Okay, well, yeah, you got to do that one.
Yeah.
So it's a great time. We have the classes for the youth. We're going to do this class November 30th. Please, I only have 40 spots for the class. And what happens is this, and this is the reason that Ed asked me, Trustee Steve asked me to come out, is because I don't want a lot of people outside of the community to come to the classes and then you guys don't get to experience it. So it's a really, really fun time. A lot of people think the exercises are so tough and it's so intense, but I'm telling you, it was a woman that came to the contest, and she was a resident of Dolton, and she ended up losing 24 pounds, and she said how she wouldn't have lost any weight if it wasn't for the contest. So enjoy y'all Thanksgiving. We're not gonna lose no weight around this time. We're not gonna lose no weight around Christmas, but January we're gonna do a big, huge event. Gonna make it free for the entire community. November 30th come out, and then I'm doing a free workout class for everybody November 28th. But that's Thanksgiving Day. Before you write that down, don't even write it down. That's the morning of Thanksgiving. A lot of people not gonna be there, but at 10 o'clock we're just gonna open up the gym to the community. You can come in. I'm gonna have a group of trainers there. We're gonna all work out. Okay? That sound like fun for everybody? Anybody got any questions before I get out? I know last time I ran out of here. Any questions regarding anything we're doing over at Melanie's? No, y'all got that?
We need to have a, your program that's going to start at 6 p.m. If we're going to go forward, that we probably need to bring it up to the morning or afternoon because some of our seniors don't come out in the evening.
Y'all don't come out and they talking about how the community's so safe now. I mean, we should be all right.
I'm just making a suggestion.
Yes.
Move it up.
Yeah.
Okay. On the next one, next one we're gonna definitely consider it.
And we maybe can do both. We'll talk about it.
Right.
All right.
It's gonna cost the city a lot. It's gonna cost the movement. And I come out to your stuff. So I know you said don't nobody. I'll be coming out. So I want some credit too, Trustee. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. As you can see, we're trying to change the spirit and the activity over there at Melanie Fitness. And you know we have Rashida Detox Cafe that's open, so you can come get a fresh, healthy smoothie. You can get fresh foods. You can get alkaline foods. You can get this thing called CMOS, which is, I think that's CMOS. Liz, am I saying that right? CMOS? CMOS is a new thing that helps people stay healthy. So we're asking people to come out and support, get a membership, but we're moving Melanie Fitness forward. And also, Rashida Detox Cafe has the smoothies with Mickey for young people coming up. What was that? November 16th. So smoothies with Mickey, so bring your children. I'm gonna bring my daughter and my two daughters out to help get some smoothies and help young people eat healthy, because a lot of times they eat Flamin' Hots and Doritos. So we're trying to help change that. So again, that's the end of my report, but we are moving Melanie Fitness forward, and we're moving it to be self-sufficient and make sure it makes the money to maintain that gym and that nice facility over there. Thank you, Mayor.
Trustee, how much is the membership?
Membership is $20 right now.
Okay, so that's approximately
It's $20 per month.
240 for the year.
For the year.
So if you pay it in advance for the whole year, is there any discount?
Yes, it's a discount if you pay it in that. Paying in advance. Also, if you set up the automatic deposit withdrawal, what is it? You get a little discount if you set up the automatic withdrawal out of your bank account. So it comes out every month.
Okay. Thanks, Trustee Steve. Next thing is corporate bills. Can you get a motion to pay the corporate bills?
I make a motion to pay the corporate bills.
Second.
Okay, it's a motion second to pay the corporate bills. Any discussion?
Mayor, I have a question.
Okay.
In the past, we would announce to the village what the actual dollar totals were, but I see we don't do that anymore.
That should be part of the motion.
Okay, you can actually that can be part of the motion, and we've done it. And Trustee House is not here today; he's finance chair. So next board meeting we can make sure that happens.
Okay, I had residents that were asking about it, and I didn't know why we didn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I said, I ask you. Okay.
All right.
I got one question.
Go ahead.
The credit cards. Why don't we put the credit cards on the one list?
I'm not sure. They've never been put on there.
Okay, can we start moving forward so we know what other monies is being spent?
We can do that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Roll call.
Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next thing on the agenda is the new old business, amending section 3-3-13 of the Dolton Village Code relating to the hours of liquor license. Trustee Steve?
Yes, we thank you, Mayor. We put this on the agenda at the committee to discuss it, and now we're voting on it. The ordinance will change the hours of a liquor establishment from Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night to end at 1 o'clock. Friday night and Saturday night be 2 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock. So we're just moving it up an hour on the weekend, so we won't have bars and clubs closing at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's an effort from us to help to improve safety, and you can cut down a lot of stuff when you shut it down at a certain time. So I would like to get a motion to pass ordinance number 19-018.
Make it. You make it. Go ahead.
Oh. No, you make the motion.
Motion to pass ordinance number 19-018.
Second.
Motion by?
It's motion by Trustee Steve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been motion second to amend ordinance number 19-018, section 3-3-13 of the Dolton Village Code relating to the hours of liquor license.
Still need an effective date.
Yeah. Is there any discussion on this?
Which grace period?
And actually the consensus last committee of the whole was that allow them to let the businesses know, in fact, allow them some time to make adjustments if they've made appointments or commitments to individuals or parties. So what date are you looking to make this effective?
We were saying 30 days. 30 days from the time it's passed. So I mean, would that be December, almost around December 1st, the first week of
You
December?
know, that's going to be kind of short notice.
Okay.
You want to say January 1?
Yes, sir. January 1st.
Everybody plug in that, instead of where it says blank 2019, plug in 1-1-20.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is, oh, that's right. Can get a vote. Roll call.
And I had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're putting the hours back until 1. Is that not because Harvey has changed theirs to midnight?
Well,
The hours?
after reviewing some of the incidents that we've had at some of the bars, where we had shootings and other incidents, a lot of them occur at the latter part after people have been drinking so long and they're exiting the places. And so, were you here last meeting? I don't think you were here last meeting. And it's not to say what Harvey is, and I understand tonight Harvey was having a meeting in regards to possibly trying to repeal. What we did take in consideration was that with Harvey's effect of all their establishments closing at 12 o'clock, where do those people go? They come to Dolton. So to say in consideration, did we take that in consideration? Somewhat. But we don't want to be the whipping boy from other communities that come here to have the incidents occurring here from other residents from other communities.
Okay, so for that hour, will they have extra security or anything like that based on people will come from that community into our community? How will we police it is, I guess, my concern.
It will be less policing because hours is shortened.
Right, but it's an hour. So what I'm saying is if they close at 12, they're going to come over here for that 1 hour until 1. How will we police that?
I don't think we have to additionally police it.
Police, before this was 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have to additional police. The regular police are going to be out there, but it's going to be kind of self-serving because that hour, okay, for example, the bars, if they close at 2 o'clock, they're usually shutting the lights down and telling people it's last call at 1:15. 1:30, you're trying to get people out of the bar. That 2 o'clock or that 1 o'clock means the bar is closed, there's no more sales, and the people are out of the bar.
By 1?
If it's during the week, and on the weekend, by 2.
Okay.
Where it stands now, it's 2 during the week, it's 3 on the weekend, and the same thing, 1:30, if it's 2 o'clock, they should be trying to get the people out of the bar, but there should be no sales conducted after 1 o'clock, if that's the closing time, and no one other than staff should be in that bar.
And then how will we enforce this? Like somebody gonna go by and make sure the bars are closed?
We do it now. We do it now. I mean, the police department, they do bar checks after, they start rolling around 1:30, 2 o'clock. I'm out there several times during the week. The police are out there. And they've issued citations when they're not closed.
Okay.
Any further discussion? So, in this, does this change by changing this or modifying this ordinance, do we need to change the penalty?
No.
Okay. Under enforcement, no additional?
Same enforcement.
Okay. All right. Roll call.
Trustee Denton?
Aye.
Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Motion carried, 4 ayes. Next thing on the agenda is resolutions number 19R-023, supporting proposed Class A classification for 1421 East Sibley. And how did my name go? Okay. This was talked about as a committee of the whole. I think there was consensus to put this on the agenda. Why don't we get a motion, and then if there's any discussion, we discuss it.
I make a motion to pass resolution 19R-023.
Is there a second?
Second.
His motion to adopt resolution R 19R023, supporting proposed Class 8 classification for 1421 East Sibley. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
I am in favor of this due to the fact that this was the location that had the loose squares. The owner was told to get rid of the situation. They did comply, so I am in favor of the Class 8.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
I'm sorry, just to confirm, that was a motion by trustee Steve, second by trustee Denton, or the other way around? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henry.
Aye.
Motion carries. 4 ayes. Next is approval. We're going to pull this one. Item C, old business. Okay, next new business, resolution number 19. We did those two? Yeah, okay, we're at item C on the new business. Authorization of transfer of real estate tax collected from the general fund to the water fund for the city of Chicago water liability payment. Can I get a motion on this?
Make a motion to authorize the transfer of real estate taxes collected from the general fund to the water fund.
Is there a second?
This is to pay the city.
This is to pay the city of Chicago. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned by trustee Steve and second by trustee Holmes for the authorization of the transfer of the real estate taxes collected from the general fund to pay the water fund of the city of Chicago liability payment. Any discussion? Roll
Yes.
call. Go ahead.
This is the agreement that we made with Chicago to basically get them our real estate taxes. Is that correct? I guess Attorney Murphy?
I'm sorry. Say again.
The transfer of our tax money. Is that the agreement that we made with the city of Chicago to pay our current outstanding balance?
Yes, that was the agreement we made a year or so ago, dealing with the repayment of the approximate $9 million.
Okay. Do you have the amount to recite to that we transfer? Anybody have that?
It's in the auditor's report.
I don't have that.
It's part of your agenda.
I'm looking.
I don't have it. That's why I'm
I
asking.
got it right here. It was I just printed it out from the agenda packet. 979555.46.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henry.
Aye.
Motion carries 4 ayes. Item D, new business, purchase of light poles. Superintendent Stacy, how many poles have we purchased? What matter? Can I get a motion first on this?
Make
A
a
motion.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Second.
Trustee Holmes first, trustee Steve second. How many light poles are we talking about?
We're looking to purchase 12 light poles along with the arms for the light fixture.
And how much is it per pole?
Per pole, it'll work out to be about $1,000 for each pole. And these are for the aluminum poles that we put in the residential areas we need to replace or install.
Do we have fixtures?
Yes, we have fixtures.
Okay.
We just ran out of
For all the
poles.
poles?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Any discussion?
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Go ahead.
Where will these be placed? Do we have?
Well, they're all over the community as needed. We had some areas that we had some criminal activity in. We added some additional lighting, and I seem to have curbed the criminal activity in those areas. Other in occasions where you see light poles that are knocked down from traffic accidents, they may replace the pole there, but they're actually used for replacement poles.
And where is the money coming from?
Out of the general fund, I would imagine.
The last thing I was wondering, did we get a quote from anyone else, or this the only person we?
This is, I spoke with the engineer tonight. He's going to grab one more, but this is the one that we've used in the past because they're pretty reasonable. Some of the other places from in the past were more expensive. These went up just a little bit, but they're still averaging around $1,000 a pole, including the arm.
Since I was elected in office, we replaced over 29 poles on Sibley alone that were down. So light is a deterrent in some cases, not always, but seems to help. Any more questions?
Well, for the record, I agree with everything that Trustee Denton just stated. I guess you guys budget for this. You said it's coming directly out of the general fund. That was one of my concerns as well. I'm for getting lights. I would like to know the whereabouts of where you're going to put them at. Like, if you're going to put it on 147th and Minerva or wherever it's going to go. So can y'all give the entire board a detailed report of where you're placing these new light posts?
They're not being placed right now. These are replacement lights as needed. There's traffic accidents at 142nd and Lincoln. We constantly putting up poles there. These are replacement poles so we can have them to replenish because it takes the time to have them delivered. So, and we're out of poles right now.
Right, but if it's somebody like, for instance, that's without light or need light on their block, can they not get a pole?
That is not the way we usually do it. Now on the west side, there's a lot of blocks over there that don't have a light in the middle of the block.
Correct.
We're looking right now how we can actually navigate that wiring to put a light in the middle of the block. But we don't normally put up lights by request. Now we fix lights when the bulbs go out by request, but we don't normally put up poles by request. But one of the things that we did was we cut all those trees back on the west side on most of those streets. There's still a couple of streets that need to be done. We've kind of stopped right now because I think we're where we're at a little bit over our budget in regards to cutting trees. But what we'd like to do is some of those blocks at least add a light in the middle of the block, and then on the end of each block where there are lights, we're going to change the wattage and put higher wattage bulbs there so the lights will be brighter and they would shine down part of each block. And we've done that on a couple of the blocks over there already.
Okay.
Can we get a roll call?
Trustee Denton.
Aye.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
A motion carried, 4 ayes. Next thing is mayor's.
Mayor, may I be recognized before you move on?
Go ahead, trustee.
I would like to talk to Matt, Elizabeth, to see how I can help buy or purchase a pole or two. You know, if I'm gonna sit here and work as a trustee, I should be able to take some of the money that I'm working for, give back to the community, purchase a pole or two so these people can be safe.
How many poles you want to buy? 15?
I'm gonna start off with just trying to help with 2 first and go from there. You know, if it's too dark on the streets and it's a safety hazard for them, you know, we can at least give back, you know, and try to help brighten up the street.
One of the things to take into consideration when we're putting these poles too is the intelligence report that we received from Cook County Sheriff's Police and the hotspots that we've identified throughout the village. So we make an assessment about where we're putting these poles, where light would actually help. Plus, in some of these occasions, there's underground wiring that goes to these poles, and which is more of a cost to put them there. And or if we have to do overhead wiring that could actually come from another street light, depending on the distance, or if we have to take it back through airspace, through a resident's property to the alley, to accommodate a pole. So all those are taken into consideration when we're replacing these poles and the crime that, in those areas. Today, the Cook County Treasurer was out here today, Maria Pappas, and her office started out with looking for refunds for seniors that have not applied for the tax exemption on their homes. And seniors, not seniors, just everybody basically, that have overpaid on their taxes. So they started with the employees today. And we had one of our employees in Public Works had not applied for senior exemption in several years, and you can go back 3 years. He got a $2,500 refund, and he will be getting that refund before Christmas. And there have been some residents that have overpaid their taxes, and they're entitled to refunds. There's actually $140 million that the Treasurer's Office is holding now for people that either did not apply for their senior exemption or overpaid their property taxes. So they're going to be back out here on Saturday at Coffee with the Mayor from 8:30 to approximately 11:30. So, even if you think you didn't apply for your exemption, if you think you may have overpaid your taxes in 2013, there was one person that got a $100 refund. They had overpaid on their taxes. So it takes 45 seconds. All you have to do is bring your tax bill with you or know your PIN number. Know your PIN number. So Saturday, Coffee with the Mayor will be held downstairs instead of upstairs because we're anticipating a huge number of people turning out to try to find out whether they got a refund or not. So it's a simple form like this that you fill out, refund application. PIN number goes on top, address, name, and number. They check on the computer if you have a refund, they sign it off, and usually between 3 to 4 weeks, you'll get your refund on the overpayment of the property tax. And it usually takes 6 to 8 weeks to get your overpayment on the exemption if you did not apply for the exemption. And this will go back to it'll go back to about 2011. So if any of those years you did not file for your property tax exemption, you can get a refund. So Mr. Johnson, who works in our Public Works Department today, came in. He gave him his address. They looked up the PIN number, and he's getting a $2,500 refund. And we're going to ask him to buy 2 poles. That's jokingly. Our turkey dinner for the seniors will be held on what date, Elizabeth? Not the 27th. No. Is that 2 days before the things? 26th? Okay, yeah, right. All right, Tuesday the 26th. Tuesday the 26th, we'll have a senior dinner at the Dorchester for the seniors. Must be a Dolton resident. Must have your ID. Don't bring 20 people with you unless they're Dolton residents. But you have to RSVP. What's that number, Elizabeth? We are going to feed 380 people, first come, first serve. If you call the RSVP line and you're over 380, that message will be, we have reached our, our full complement, and you have to come back next year, 6 p.m. So, okay, the RSVP number is 708-201-1690. 201-1690. So that RSVP line last year filled up in about 2 weeks. So please, and I'll take that back. Friday, what's Friday's date? Because we have to give the caterers enough time to make sure that we have, whether it's 200 people, 400 people, or 380 people. The 22nd at 5 p.m. Okay, I don't have anything else. Citizens address. Anybody want to come to the podium?
The village of Dolton since I came to this village. I've sent you documentation I've tried to talk that I paid to get my water turned back on. We do not receive in C Village of Dolton. Excuse me? If you would like a copy of my bill, I would be more than happy to email it to you. I do pay it. A matter of fact, I paid my bill and I paid a balance of $2,420.16. That was a previous balance bill from a prior owner. If you would like to see it, I would be more than happy to show it to you right now. This is my address.
Yeah.
So in lieu of that, I'm asking all Dolton residents who have been shut off, who are currently shut off, who are being threatened with shut off, who have bills that they have a discrepancy, a disagreement, or dispute with, to please call my number at 708-730-4450. I do have representation for the residents of Dolton. My name is Trina Downs. The attorney will stand beside you. Whoever has any questions or comments, please see me after the meeting.
Chief, please. Please.
Man, we can't have outbursts. Just no outbursts.
Excuse me, Chief Mobley.
Outbursts.
We've had outbursts from this section of seniors all night long that have not been addressed.
Chief,
they are recorded in my phone.
Chief, I'm not going to ask you to do your job anymore. Will you remove her, please?
Okay. Ms. Downs, you need to come on.
Who needs to come out? Ms. Downs, I'm at the podium.
Ms. Hill. Because you're out of order.
No. There were other individuals out of order. We're going to, that don't be on video.
You're out of order, Ms. Hill.
Me, I'm refusing to be moved. I'm refusing to be moved on the ground.
Mayor, it was other people yelling.
It was definitely other people. It was a young lady that was showing a pamphlet.
Come on, Mayor.
Of food. It was a young lady showing this whole line of women a pamphlet of food during this meeting, and nothing was said and nothing was done. It's video.
Ms. Downs, if you want to continue with your
Please see me in regards to your water bill. Please contact me. I have forms to fill out to the Inspector General Office, Attorney General Office. File your complaints with the FBI for them violating your 14th Amendment rights to due process. Do not tolerate this anymore in the village of Dolton. Do not tolerate these fraudulent bills in the village of Dolton while they demand payment and swoop up to your house and shut you off with no notification whatsoever. They just shut you off. Why don't we receive shut-off notices anymore, Attorney Murphy?
Ms. Downs, your 3 minutes is up.
Can anybody answer to why we don't receive shut-off notices anymore? Because it's illegal.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening, sir.
Well, first, I want to thank Trustee Tiffany Hilliard for a great cancer luncheon. It was dynamic. You guys should have been there. It was great. You know, we had some good people to come and give their testimony. I too have had family members pass from cancer, so I applaud you. Continue to do that, and as much as I can, I will continue to support you. Also, I just sat here and I just witnessed while the other lady was speaking, somebody from over in that section had an outburst, nothing was said. The minute she said something, now you single her out. That's not right. If you're going to enforce the law, you got to enforce the law for everybody, not just your constituents or people that don't support you. Because your constituents, they spoke. Because this lady was telling whatever she was talking about her bill, nobody from the audience should have said anything to her without you saying something to them. Because she was addressing everybody.
Thanks
The
for telling me.
outburst.
Go ahead.
No.
After you finish.
See, you're right. But here's the thing. Let me just say this, Mayor. If you already know, I'm law enforcement too, so I know how it goes. When you enforce the law has to apply to everybody. You can't pick and choose who you want to enforce the law on. That's not right. I mean, let's just be real. You cannot single this lady out because she had an outburst, because there was so many other people. I've been standing back there for a while. Other people been having outbursts. Zero conversation came from you. But the minute she said something, why? Because she opposes you. And that's why you want her removed, because she speaks the truth. And she come at you. And anybody that come at you and tell you about yourself, you don't want nothing to do with them. You always gonna sidebar talk them. You always gonna deflect. Yep. You're gonna do all of these things. Man, let's just be real with each other. If you're gonna be our leader for everybody, even the ones you don't like. You still a leader. You gotta accept them too. Because people gonna have a difference of opinion. And it's okay. But you gotta learn how to mend with that. Even with your trustee on this end, Trustee Tiffany Henry. Y'all didn't even show up to neither event she gave. But you the leader of this town. You talk about transparency. You talk about bringing moving the village forward. How can we move forward and you won't even make amends with your own trustee on the board? We can't do that. How we gonna be moving forward this village if we divide it from our leadership? Yep. Our leadership, everybody can see it. It's all over, everywhere. It needs to come back. Get you in your private office to tell me it ain't just for me, it's for everybody. Give us a vision so that we can help you. We all live here. We all pay taxes. We all want this village to be great. But we can't do that if our leader is helping the division.
Say that.
He just did is a violation. I had nothing that I was going to say standing here today. I was coming to be just a simple spectator. But make no mistake, I'm going to make it my representative job to make sure each one of you go appropriately where you need to go. And if you do anything that you just did, I ain't got no problem citing you with the FBI, because you've already violated the color of law. There will be no more of that. And he can't move me in his nightmare. And I want all of you all to understand, that is no more of that. As a people representative, are you all the biggest fools in this subdivision? I am an official people's representative. You have all made me a witness against you. And don't you keep being no fool with my rights. Period. Here's what I say to the resident. Take it back. All these taxpayer dollars, they y'all's. Take it back. Get rid of them. We don't need no more outsiders. This is what we get.
You escort her out, please.
No, I'm going out on my own.
Good evening, residents, mayor, trustees. Couple quick questions. House isn't here today, so they were going to be kind of directed in his path since he's over the finance committee. Maybe I'll direct him towards you, Ms. Scott, as the administrator. Maybe you can help me with a couple answers. First answer, a question I have is I asked Trustee House about a few weeks ago about the amount limit on the credit cards that's allowed to the mayor without having a constituent vote, and I didn't get an answer yet from him. Can you help me with that answer?
Okay, I don't have necessarily an answer that you might want to hear.
Okay.
However, the credit card is used by everyone in the village, myself, and everybody who works here. So people who make purchases, like purchase orders that comes through the village when we purchase paper, certain things that we have to just buy around the village, certain things for supplies for public works, it may go on the credit card. So it isn't just one person necessarily who uses the card.
Okay, and I'm going to redeem my time every time I get an answer because I don't want my 3 minutes to go.
Well, I'll let you finish and then I'll answer.
So then, with it being valued to everyone usage, is there some type of policies, procedures, rules set into place for everyone to use the car? Is there a certain amount that everyone can use?
You can keep going because I don't want to use your time.
Okay. The next question I would have, does the mayor have authorization to use the village credit card to pay for prescriptions? Or prescriptions, medical prescriptions? I'm just asking.
Like I said,
Or
you
how
can
about
keep
medical
going because I don't
services?
want to use your time, and then I'll
Okay.
answer at the end.
Who has paid for the prescriptions that have been purchased on the Village credit card? Are the purchases made on the Village credit card itemized and noted on a warrant list? And if not, why? And my question I have again is, are there ordinances, policies, rules, or regulations that governs the use of the Village credit card? And you may answer.
Okay, Attorney Murphy, I'm going to refer some of those questions to you.
The board has policies in place regarding expenditures. The credit cards come before the board every meeting, the amount payable. I don't know anything about prescriptions. And
Okay.
that's brand new on me.
Okay. I think there were some purchases on FOIA requests for some of the credit cards, the Village credit cards, that had to do with some prescriptions. So we're just asking about some of the charges and some of the procedures and policies that are in place against those charges. Mayor, I guess I'll direct this question
I'm
to you.
going to say this.
3 minutes is up. I couldn't have been. That's 3 minutes? That was 3 minutes? That was 3 minutes, Chief? Okay, well, I would like to redeem. Go ahead, Mayor. I'd like to ask you my question, if you don't mind.
What question?
I just wanted to ask a question about the possible, you telling us, the Village, I know you have your mayor's report, so that's normally the time that we would get information about things that could help this Village. I wanted to ask a question about some of the trips, like the one during Hawaii, which was for the Village credit card was used. Just wanted to know some of the benefits that came from that event that could definitely cater to the
let me
Village.
say something. We've gone over your 3 minutes, but I'm going to answer.
Okay.
I've been a member of the U.S. Conference of Mayors ever since I've been a mayor for the last 6 years. I've been a member of the African American Mayors Association for the last 6 years. I've traveled to conferences ever since I joined both those organizations. And I'm going to tell you one thing that has come out of one of those meetings to Washington, D.C. was a $19 million grant when I met with Tammy Duckworth, Senator Tammy Duckworth, and Senator Durbin to improve the railroad situation here in the village of Dolton. Now, and it's put simply to me by other legislators, if you're not in the mix, you're not going to be in the mix. So over those conferences, I've developed relationships with other mayors in other cities that have the same problems that Dolton have. And with legislators doing meetings that have passed money and grants they have received here in the village of Dolton. So just take a look at, and I'm not the only mayor that goes. Now why they single me out, I don't know. They said 8 trips at $12,000. Now you figure it out. That's an average of $1,500 a trip. These rooms sometimes are $300 a night. And all the rooms raise their prices when they know there's a conference in, with over 5,000 to 6,000 mayors coming to these conferences. And all those conferences, whether 2, 3, or 4-day conferences, they deal with economics, they deal with spending, they deal with grants. Everything that affects a municipality goes on at those conferences.
Okay. So in the mayor's report, could we possibly, that would be possibly a good time to just relay some of that information, so that way you won't get the questions.
I'm still going to get the questions.
But at least there'll be answers to review for what those trips stand for, correct?
Hey, I'm being honest with you. If it would come to my mind at this time, I may put it out there to discuss. I do so much work that you don't even see behind the scenes. The administration here, you don't even see behind the scenes. All these grant stuff, going downtown to these meetings to try to get money for roads and things like that. All these questions we have to ask, applications we have to fill out. Some we get, some we don't. So it's not just what you see here. You don't really see what goes on behind the scenes here. All the litigation that we're involved in, deposition we have to go to, court trials and stuff we have to go to, managing electric bills here, meeting with ComEd to try to get our reductions down on electric bills, try to get new poles in the community. You just don't realize it. That all happens at different meetings and times. Now, right now, I'm working on the brownfield situation. We have a number of parcels here that are contaminated. How does that affect the community? I don't know, but it could be a runoff in our water. There's money that there's money available for that to try to get it solved, try to get it graded, get it done. But I think there's a benefit of going to those conferences.
Okay.
And if you look at all these mayors, you look at elected officials, you look at the park district, they go to conferences to try to bring certain things to the community. So
Absolutely.
It's not, why they targeting me? Fine. It is what it is. But if you saw in the article, the reporter justified himself. That on those occasions where that money was spent, there was conferences that happened in those towns where the money was spent.
Correct.
I try to watch what I eat, how many meals that I have, and that hasn't been done in the past. On some occasions, I know if it's cost this much, I eat one meal. Some occasions, if I got a stove or if I got a refrigerator in my room, I go to the grocery store and I fix my meals. Because when you order breakfast in one of them hotels, it's $50 for 2 eggs, a toast, and a glass of milk.
So that's why we definitely want to, add that to the mayor's report, so that way that information can be spread about, and those type of conclusions may not be formed. Last time I'm out of here, Attorney Murphy, I guess Administrator Scott put that back in your lap. So hopefully by next meeting, we can possibly have some of those policies and procedures on the usage of some of these credit cards and amounts and things.
I'm going to give you an example. They cut the other board. The average mayor usually in all these communities has a $10,000 to $15,000 authority to pay a bill. I hear you, Mary. They cut mine down to $1,000. I came in here one day, and the phones were off. Now, you want me to leave the phones off, or you want me to pay the bill?
I think that's an administrative problem.
It's just a credit whatever the problem
I think
is.
that goes to administrations.
Whatever the problem is, the CEO of any company, and this is a small business, of any company will do what's right for the company.
Absolutely.
And that's to pay the bill so the residents can make a phone call and get to the police and get to the water department, whatever the case may be. Whether it was a mishap, whether it was intentional, whether we didn't have the money, it was paid on that credit card.
Okay. Well, all right, I appreciate you, Mayor. Attorney Murphy.
And the only thing I can think about prescriptions is our dog. Because I didn't order any prescriptions on no credit card. But our dog has to go to the vet.
Okay.
Has to be fed. It has to get shots.
Well, it's our humans. We got dogs, so we know how that goes.
And the police department has a credit card that they use for certain things.
Okay.
On my credit card, the murders we had, 30 detectives out here, 35 detectives out here 10, 12 hours. Okay. Do we feed them or let them work for nothing? We feed them, and it goes on the credit card.
Okay. Attorney Murphy, thank you, Mayor. Attorney Murphy, can I get it on the record so that way we'll understand that maybe by next?
I'll talk to the client.
I'm sorry?
I'll talk to the client.
You talk to the client?
The client.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, Mayor Clerk, could you make sure that goes on record that they were asked for and Murphy said he was going to talk to the client?
Everything's recorded.
Okay. All right, I'm just making sure. Thank you.
Demetrius, and I just want to say to you for the record, the reason why his amount was cut is because of mismanagement of funds. That's why we cut it to $1,000.
That's not true.
It is.
That's not true.
So
You cut
each board member
everything.
cut it down to $1,000.
You cut everything.
So that's why. So
I
we
couldn't
got
buy a
to
light
protect
bulb.
The purse. That's what the trustee.
And I also wanted to add that there's people who are sitting on the board right now outside of the mayor that attended conferences that the village paid for.
Yes, that the village paid for, and they should. You want my credit card? You need to pull the credit card of Stan Urban that was here that took all these trustees on trips and spent exorbitant amount of money. You want to talk about credit cards? That's what you need to do.
Well, I mean, no fares here. Sorry. Have a good one, guys.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I have to just simply tell the truth that, we are having an issue about our water bill.
And we're trying to correct it.
I understand
We're
that.
trying to correct it.
I understand.
Yeah.
Everything is, I also understand there's a proper way to go about getting this issue solved. We have to learn to be more calm. We have to learn to talk to them in a certain type of mannerism in which we want to be talked to, how we want to be talked to. It's hand in hand. Now, I came in here the last meeting. You instructed your constituents or employees to help me out with this problem. Yet, I haven't received a phone call. I haven't got a letter or nothing. Nothing has been done to try to straighten out my water issue at my home.
Now, if I recall correctly, it was the name on the bill.
The name.
And you said whether it was place or address.
That was also another issue that was going on.
Now, and you also said there was a physical reading of your meter.
There was.
Okay. So, I have the director here from the water department. Is Janice in there also? Are you familiar with his case? Sonia?
Yes.
Okay.
Last name?
Modro?
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what? I hate, I won't, let me say, I don't want to use the word hate, but, when people come here and discuss their personal, whether it's a bill or personal issues, employment or things like that, some of those personal things will come back out for you that may not be favorable for you. So, it's much, let me finish. It's much more private if you would go into discussion with those people involved rather than put all your business out, So any rate, if you want to go for it, that's fine.
Yes, sir. As I said last time,
okay.
I tried that route before.
Okay.
I've been tried that route for some years. This is my last resort.
Okay.
I'm not coming here every night just to talk to.
First of all, what is your address?
520 East 144th Street.
You have that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the whole history there as far as we can go back?
No, I just went back to 2018.
Okay. Is Janice in there?
Yes.
Can she run the whole history? And then
I mean, I understand that this has been a very kind of exciting little meeting tonight, and I'm very sorry.
We've been here before. We've been here worse than this, so,
This is my second meeting, so don't tell me that.
Anything, I want to get your problem corrected. We're trying to make improvements in the water department. We've hired some new people, made some adjustments, things like that. So, we need to get it solved.
Do you want me to stand up here or you want me to sit down?
Hang on 1 second. Sonia, let's go as far back as you can.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
So I did receive the information. The name on the account was updated.
Put the mic up closer.
The name on the account was updated. The adjustment was completed on your account on September 30th, 2019. The issue with your account is payment. The last payment we received was May 3rd, 2019. There haven't been a payment since. I did try to contact you. I didn't get an answer.
I do have voicemail. Did you leave a voicemail message?
I don't recall if I did, but I usually do if the voicemail is not full.
Well, I can check my phone right now if you want me to.
So on September 30th, the account was adjusted. There's still a past due balance, and that's the reason why you're off.
And what is that past due balance at this time? Because my understanding is $505.
So right now, currently at this time, is $664.31.
Excuse me. My understanding, since my water is completely off, been off for a month, was $505.
So you had a new bill that came out on September 30th.
Excuse
in
me.
the amount of $227.56.
So one of the things is that even if your water gets turned off, the sewer and the trash is still applied.
I understand it very much.
Yes. So
but
if
that bill that she's talking about did not come in my name. It came in someone else's name, if you remember.
Okay, but she said they made it. There was an error in the name, and they corrected the name. But whether the name was correct or not, if they took a physical reading, it still came from that building.
Right now I'm collecting disability, and I do lift, so I'm at home all the time. So if someone else came out to my house to check anything, I would have seen it.
When did they come and check it before?
When I came here and talked to what's her name in the room, Janice.
Okay.
And she actually had somebody come out that same day and take care of it.
Okay.
So it was red then. And like I said, it was 88 units.
Pardon me?
For the 4 years that I've been in that home, I only used 88 units. Now, y'all telling me that I owe a $649 bill now?
Yes, that's from previous. So I hate to do this in front of everyone, but you're making partial payments. So the last time you made a bill, it wasn't for the full amount, it was a partial payment. So I'll be willing to sit down with you and talk with you in person and go over your history.
So what you're
There
saying?
also is a breach of contract for not making payments in the past with previous administration in the water department.
For the last 4 years. Because this sounds, I'm sorry, am I going over 3 minutes to I'm very sorry for that.
I can meet with you one-on-one if you like.
But, my understanding is kind of like not clear. I mean, so how much do you actually charge for units?
$5.61 per unit for water.
$5.61.
Yes, sir.
So,
but your trash continues to go on. There's been
Trash is $61.50 per.
in the sewer.
Okay, maybe we should just talk about this privately, and let me let the mic just go on, okay?
Yeah.
No problem.
I'd like to get a motion to adjourn.
My motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
I got to speak, please. Thank you. Couldn't let this one go on.
Roll call.
I'm sorry.
Attorney Murphy.
There was a motion to adjourn on the floor.
Speak. It's citizens' address.
Citizens address.
Motion by.
I know they're not going to vote for that.
Attorney Murphy.
Yes.
Motion by Trustee Holmes, second by
Attorney
Trustee
Murphy.
Steve.
Attorney Murphy.
Board can adjourn the meeting if the majority of the board votes.
Let's see how they vote. Let's see. When
So
the
it's going to
citizen
be a
wants to
split
talk.
vote. Okay. Motion to adjourn, Trustee Denton.
Let him speak.
Yep.
Is that a nay?
Yep.
Nay.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
No, let him speak.
Mayor Rogers. We are adjourned.
Patty.
You all saw it yourself.
8:34.
You should never silence the residents, ever.
That's okay. They